We're good. Oh boy. Let me see this.
Bubba, you good?
Yeah. No,
you good, brother?
Yeah, we're good. It's a reach over here.
It'll reach over.
Yes, sir.
Pull it where you want.
All right.
Oh,
Got it?
it's I'm good. I got it.
Bubba, you got it?
Do we need the headphones? Anything?
Uh,
No, good.
I like to use it. You don't have to.
You don't get
All right.
feedback in the mic. You don't
Okay.
have to have it. Keep it away from the mic.
Matter of fact, let me get yours.
Yeah, got
Yeah,
you.
just so I can check the audio level.
We're good. We're good.
That's the way.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah. It's just more slack.
Yeah.
Good.
Yep. Yeah. Good things together here.
Do you want?
Yeah, try to close it.
Oh, close the
I
door.
was trying. Pink said I was good.
Oh, I thought you were trying to manipulate the table.
Fucking ice, man. Later, Bubba. You good?
We're good. Appreciate you.
Oh, Jesus!
Imagine multiple.
Listen, man, I hit a bitch one time, man, the baby was bouncing all over the bitch.
Cut through the texture of pasta, I stretch to the father. My demons can't be stressing my daughter. Sweat beanie Hana, know it's a rap. Wet enchilada.
Deion Sanders is the greatest football player, arguably, to ever live. Ed Reed, the greatest safety, arguably, to ever live in the entire universe. All right? Why y'all not going on live? Miami been trashed for fucking how long now? God damn.
I like you got on some skates. I like you got on some skates. I like you got on some skates.
I want somebody in the event, something like, say like, I love oxtail. If I can eat some that tastes like oxtails while I'm down there, just for that moment.
He's on my back. You know what I mean? And, you know, I think, you know, I feel like his thing is like on my neck.
I've had two guys.
Same time?
No, I'm not that girl.
Man,
the best
appreciate
motherfucking podcast in Orlando, Florida.
You already know. We
the
appreciate
Sunshine
it.
State. Man.
Welcome back. You're back on the Bench Podcast with Bubba and Payne, Coma Sports, Music, and Mayhem. Don't forget we're available on all, and I do mean all podcast streaming platforms, including here on YouTube. Please like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. We got the Ace League director, Will Lee, in the building today.
Yeah.
It's sort of an annual tradition now.
It is.
Yeah.
It is a tradition.
And we definitely appreciate it. All right, we're going to be talking about the Ace League, the season that's coming up amongst us now, along with some of this Western Conference Finals, Wemby vs. Shai, get some Knicks talk, some LeBron talk, and a few other topics as well, as always. All right. I had something on my mind here, quick to tackle, and it's just been troubling me all day. Now, first, I want to make sure I get this out. This is the thoughts and comments of Bubba and On the Bench. This has nothing to do with Will Lee or the Ace League. So make sure the editor that you get that on the clip. All right. I had a small beef, a small tit-tat with a female friend of mine, right? And when I say female friend, I'm talking about
You haven't fucked her.
no sex prior, no sex current, and no sex on the table for future use. That type of female friend, you understand?
The useless kind.
Oh my God. And you know, and the one thing about women that I understand is that, you know, women go through life where a lot of things, you know, are done for them, and people go out of their way. And the more attractive you are, the more that is the case for you, right?
the more out of the way everybody goes.
You know, and I understand that. But, you know, the thing about the male and woman, like, you know, friendship, when it's an honest friendship, you got to understand that the dude that's screwing you needs to be on the hook has to have more responsibility than just a friend that ain't getting no coochie at all. You understand? Like that's like you have to understand that. You know what I mean? And it's not to be too frank or not to be like the shitty guy on the podcast that need to get rid of his mic. Like that's just the way of life. You know, you got your daddy, your uncle, your family, and the dude that's screwing you. Now outside of that, you gotta because a man to man friendship, we look out when there's time when you need it, when needed. But we look at things like, okay, I got to do this for myself, or it's not going to get done. Now, so, you get help along the way. You all know that. Luck. And
there's a lot of life that a man just has to say, I've got to get this done.
I got to get this done. And
it's on you to do.
If I lose my keys or leave it in the Uber, like I got to find a way to get this. I can't be on the hook for driving you around the whole 3 states to find these keys. You the one lost the keys.
Yeah.
I'm
going to refer back to my earlier comment about useless friend. I think you need to revisit that situation.
I mean, I have some thoughts on that. I really do.
Give them out. Put them out.
So I, how I do. I know y'all see my posts.
I do, and I love them.
The kind of content that I put out there, because I live a different lifestyle.
Yeah.
And so being in that space, I see the world through a different lens. So my question then would be to you.
Okay.
Is she really your friend? And so what I mean by that is because just the same way that you said that I will spend time or I would look out for my brother and pick him up. What if sex is not on the table?
Yes.
Isn't she just your friend? And wouldn't that qualify her for you to do the same exact things that you would do for a male friend?
Yes.
So then why does it matter who she's sleeping with? Because it doesn't matter who your boy is sleeping with, right?
No.
So I guess that's my question is, why are we setting that standard if she is truly your friend?
Yes.
And you have no means of trying to sleep with her or anything else? Because a lot of time men play the long game. Come on, let's if we're going to keep it funky, let's keep it all the way funky. Men play the long game dealing with women. We feed them a lot of information deliberately, sometimes misinformation, so we don't disagree with them. Even though we know what she's done is dead ass wrong, we still stay in agreement with her just in case she decides she wants to cross that line. Because let's call a spade a spade. Men lack self-discipline. And we severely lack that.
I do.
And
I'm one of them. I'm one of them. Now, that's a great question and retort, and I'm glad you brought that up because, okay, let me give you an example because it's the case here, but a perfect example is a different female friend, right? We're out at a liquor store one night, and it's me and her, and she has 2 other homegirls, right, who I would sleep with, first of all, if given the opportunity. But anyway, we're at this liquor store, and we about to buy a bottle. And so
one bottle for 4 people?
Maybe 3. Yeah, three people would drink it. Anyway.
Okay.
And so the one friend says, okay, everybody, it's whatever, $15 a piece. My friend, my homegirl, goes up to her friend and she whispers back, I can hear her, like, what are you doing? Bubba's here. Just let him fucking pay for it. You know what I'm saying? And so my answer to your awesome retort is, with the female friend, it tends to be all the time that she needs something or I have to do something or I'm on the hook for doing something. My male friends, it's not like that. It's every once in a while or it's every, you know what I mean? Like when me and Pink go to, it's no sweat about who's going to pay for this or that. We paying for our own unless I say, hey, I ain't got it today. And even then, that's once in a blue moon. That's not every time we go out to fucking Arby's. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing with a female friend. It tends to be way more. They're looking at me to do something for them.
Here's the deal. Here's my breakdown. You're being used, and you're allowing yourself to be used in the hopes that she'll fuck you at some point.
Nah, that's not the case, man. Nah, that ain't the case.
That's what it is.
Nah,
you ain't turning it down if offered.
I am.
Really?
Yeah.
Then why the fuck are you putting yourself in this position?
Like I said, and it's not like it's not like I don't want to put it as a being used. It's not like a financial money thing, but it's all about. It's always got to be your time. Yeah, it's always got to be.
Yeah, you're not getting anything out of that.
It's a friend. Yeah. I guess it's an uneven friendship.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's still a friendship.
Okay, so what does she provide for you that makes you deem her as a friend?
I don't know. She cool. We cool. You know, and it's
But
two
that's
female
not
friends.
and that's what I mean by men. We don't set a standard for ourselves
Yeah,
of
there's
what
no
we're
standard.
willing to accept and what we need from a female.
Yeah.
And that's where we fall short, because essentially what you're saying is an uneven friendship, yet you haven't gave her any of the parameters in which you needed for a friendship to be
Facts.
friends with you.
Facts.
I mean, so you got to kind of look at it from that standpoint too.
No, that's facts.
No.
I
about it.
agree with Will. I agree with myself. I don't agree with you.
So I'm hot and bothered for no reason. It's on me. It's on me.
Wait, it's on you.
on me.
It's on you to decide what you're gonna do with an uneven friendship.
Yeah.
Are you gonna step back from it, or are you gonna maybe have a conversation? Say, hey, I appreciate you in my life, but it's got to be different than it is, or what have you.
Yeah. And maybe if head was on the table. I mean, if you know.
Dude, see, I was right all along.
I seen it coming too, but it was just one of those things where I'm just letting them be great. Let them be great.
What we're gonna do here is
The band of greatness in that chair is very narrow.
let's talk some conference finals talk, and then we're gonna get deep into the H League, and then we're gonna talk some Knicks and Braun, stuff like that, and with some other topics here. All right. So we're about to go to Game 6, right, of Oklahoma City, OKC Thunder, and San Antonio Spurs. Now the last game that we saw, Game 5, there's a lot going on. Now I know, Will, from following your posts. You're gearing up to make the transition, which in fandom is like, all fair and game. You have to find your Knicks. Yeah, you know what I mean. And so are you fully on the Spurs wagon, or you're finding your way there?
I actually started last year.
Okay.
I started making the transition last year. Obviously, Bron, everybody knows I'm a Bron guy. But I started seeing the things in Wemby that I really like.
Yes.
Like I seen the work ethic. I seen the want to. He's not ducking any smoke. He's saying, "Here I am." And being that I have that similar personality, it's one of those things you relate to, right? And then that Stephon Castle kid.
Yeah.
Oh my.
That's my boy.
I like him.
He's on Bubba's water cooler.
I like
of
him. He just, if you watch his game, he is literally requesting the best player from every team.
Yeah.
He's requesting it.
Yeah.
No,
Whether he
has
get
that
lit
hit.
for 30 or not, he wants the challenge. And that's scary when you put him back in his prime. Once he gets to his prime, and he's learning the tendencies of these guys, and he's getting that reputation now.
And he's not turning the ball over every 5 possessions.
That part too.
God.
It's just one of those things though. Like he's somebody that I can see myself relating to. Somebody who really wants it. And that's what basketball's supposed to be. Now, I know you've seen a post that just recently I made that started to go viral. And I decided to take that one down because of, the content in which I was sitting there saying, like, I use a quote from Rocky IV in it where if he dies, he dies. When I wanted, if I wanted to spur.
And let's get there, because everyone saw the actual Game 5 and what happened. But yes, that was about OKC Thunder being aggressive, and you're saying let the Spurs do the same, and if he dies, he dies.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, so here's my thing, right? Because Pink told me about Wemby before I knew Wemby existed, so that's how long he's been on that train as well.
I have deep connections in France.
I like the Thunder and I like the Spurs. I'm like I'm on the outside looking in, right? And I think I'm able to see things that people are not. Like when you're heavily into for real, because when you're heavily into a team like I am with the 76ers, like it
creates blind spots.
Yeah, man, it creates blind spots, man, when you're that. And it's funny because when you're watching the game, people have different outcomes of the reasonings why this team lost. And I'm starting to see that with the people who want the Spurs to win. Because it's become about the referees, it's become about OKC flopping, it's become about OKC being dirty, or you know what I mean, and things like that. Instead of Wemby having his worst performance to date in the playoffs, instead of Castle leading all players in turnovers in this series, instead of You know, things like that. You know,
But
that's
as I
in
always
my
say,
opinion is the
no,
reason.
like okay, I watched the game last night and I said the Spurs turned the ball over just too much. It's just way too much. Too many live ball turnovers, too many senseless turnovers. It's horrible, and that's on them. Wemby didn't play well. I thought he didn't take up important spaces on the floor for most of the game, but that doesn't excuse what's going on with the officiating.
Yeah.
What's going on with the officiating?
It's horrific. They denied a review request on an out of bounds play and teed up the coach.
He waited
for
a
protesting.
super long time.
No,
because they're doing these coaches league wide are doing this thing where they're trying to wait for the video man to tell them whether to do it or not. And yes, it was a judgment call. They're about to inbound the call.
Then
and
you
yes,
don't magnify
it's
it.
right
You do not magnify it with a T. You don't magnify it with a T.
That part.
Well, the technical foul, I don't know what was said.
It doesn't matter what's said.
It does.
It does not.
You can't just
when
say
you know
no,
that's bullshit.
You can't even.
That's
if it's
total bullshit.
Even if it was a terrible call, which it was not.
It was a terrible call.
It wasn't.
It was a terrible call.
To not to honor the call.
The request for the review. You fucked that up. That is a bad call.
They gave them a super long time. They held the ball to not allow them
Bubba,
to inbound the ball.
But do you see what Pink's saying though? They compiled mistake after mistake. There's one thing where the ball went off his foot, you made the wrong call.
Yes.
Human error.
That's the
one
thing. You made a
about
shit
that call.
call.
I'm not talking about
No,
that
but
call.
you made a shit call to begin with.
That
You
happens.
fucked up the review process. That's why we have a review process. And now you've made two errors, and you tee a guy up
So
for
now you say
protesting.
he can
that.
say anything.
Sure.
Well, no.
What could he say that's out of bounds?
Fuck you, you goddamn it! I don't know.
Who cares? Who cares if he
can't,
said
but
that? Do you think that's the first time that guy's been motherfucked?
No,
sure
Or
not.
maybe called?
Tony, not
Maybe called?
Definitely not.
That's
Tony.
what I'm saying.
Definitely
So
not. Tony.
fuck you.
Not Tony.
That's ridiculous, man.
I guess
That's
let me ask you
that's
this.
pathetic.
Let me ask you this, because I am still a basketball enthusiast.
Yeah.
Meaning that I watch the game for the quality of the game. And what I'm seeing out of OKC, I also like their style of play. And what I'm not one of these Spurs fans who are saying, oh, they're cheating us and they're doing this. No, what I'm saying is allow us the space to use the same level of aggression. Because here's what is not being said, and all of us having played basketball before knows this, is that when you're playing a game of basketball and the referees aren't giving you calls, your level of aggression naturally goes up, right? Somebody getting away with pushing your elbow, grabbing you, did something a little bit borderline dirty, you know what I mean? Your aggression is, all right, as long as you let me do that and you don't blow the whistle on me, I'm good. We can just play this way. But when it is getting blown on you and you watching the guys flop on the floor, that aggression level changes and it becomes frustration. And what I was alluding to, and I seen it was about to happen, is that the Spurs are now going to start playing borderline dirty themselves. That's what
they did.
That's what that Plumlee stuff was about.
And don't skip the 45 seconds before that.
Well, no.
When Wemby went up and whispered in his ear.
Oh, no.
And we don't know what he said to him, but we know what happened directly after that.
And I'm cool with that.
But that's
so if you cool with that, be cool with everything.
No, you're not.
But
not
here's
at all.
the thing.
So you're
Not
only
at all.
cool when the Spurs are able to play dirty and do what they need to do. That's the answer.
That's not what I'm saying.
That's
not what I'm saying.
That's what I'm
The
seeing when I
Spurs
take a step back.
are trying to reciprocate.
They're
what
trying to
they're getting.
reciprocate. That's
Reciprocate what?
Well,
What dirty?
well,
What
all right, so-
dirtiness have we seen from OKC in this series?
All right, this series. Chet
Doing
Holmgren.
what?
Chet
Grabbing
Holmgren-
arms, all
Chet Holmgren
rebounds, all
grabbing
the time.
stepped- No.
All the
He
time.
stepped on Wemby's foot at that free throw line. That's an old dirty play that I used to learn from Sam Cassell way back when we did Dr. Tucker camp together, where he told me that if you just put your foot out there and just make the player think that he may land on your foot, it'll throw off their psyche on their shot, right? Those little dirty little tricks are in the game for those of us who have played, I'm telling you. And so when he stepped on his foot intentionally, then he also dived at his knee. There's another play where he dived at his knees. Chet Holmgren. You see what I mean? Forget the arm grabbing on. Well, that stuff happens. The arm grab stuff. But when you're jeopardizing or trying to jeopardize somebody's career, that's another level. And so it's one of those things where do we draw the line?
The line is drawn within the game. You know what I mean? So what I'm saying is I'm not mad at the Spurs retaliation, if that's what you want to call it, or the game. What I'm saying is that has minimal to do with the results of the game. Him, your boy, your boy and Biyombo and them coming in doing the dirty stuff, the McCain or the Hardenstein. I didn't even see it, but I definitely take your word for it. They're stepping on the ankle or the shoe. What I'm saying is that has minimal effect on the result of the game. Though these guys are, with two starters out for OKC. There's just no way that the Spurs this series shouldn't be going this way. They're down Jalen Williams and AJ for the Thunder. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to play better. You got Wemby on the sideline. God bless his heart, having the worst game ever, and he's trying to coach. You know what I'm saying? Goddamn, you need to go in the locker room and scream in the mirror to yourself. And we talked about last week about I was saying how unstoppable, and I was saying he's just as unstoppable as anyone we've seen, because I don't believe Shaq and Trace McGrady, KD, and all these guys. I don't believe in that word unstoppable with those guys. And I said I think Wemby is as close to unstoppable as we've seen. Only thing is he can stop himself if he's going to go out there and shoot a fuck ton of threes. And that's exactly what he did last night. Just clank out the clank. He's doing step back 3-pointers from 40 feet that's clanking off the side of the backboard. Like what? How you? But we're complaining about a fucking arm grab.
Bubba,
he's taking step back threes from 45
You're talking
feet.
about everything that's happening.
Bubba,
we're not just talking about
but
one
that is
thing.
the reason.
What did I say at the beginning of this?
That's the reason they're
I
losing.
said the turnovers and Wemby not getting in good attacking positions. Then I moved on to the referees. We've addressed what you're concerned
But
about.
you're also missing out on the human element. I know we like to think of these NBA players as superhuman, and they're not of the same ilk of us mere mortals, right? But here's the reality. The reality is, if another 260-pound man is grabbing on you, running you through like he's running through for a running back, through blocking like he's in a football field through the A gap, well, that's going to wear on the body. And Wemby's not. It's the same thing that the Pistons used to do to Jordan.
I was going to say, what do we do about the history of the league? Because it's not just Jordan. You skipped a whole bunch of.
Well, no, I mean, I just like to use that because it seems like everybody.
Shaquille O'Neal,
yes.
What
so what did they have to do?
Dwayne Wade, LeBron James. LeBron James went through several series where
got beat up.
They showed that the fouls discrepancies and all that.
Yes.
And
so Wemby has to get stronger. See, I'm not one of these people. If the Spurs lose this series, I'm not going to sit there and be like, it was all the refs' fault. No, there's things that we could improve on. Wemby's going to get stronger. He's a 22-year-old kid. What I would like to see, though, as a viewing public, this is just me, my personal preference. I like to see let the best team win, not where it's being like clearly when we talking about the flopping. I watched Jalen. Is that
the center? Yeah,
the center. I watched him literally as a 250-pound man.
That was running
to somebody's back and just fell to the
and
floor.
That is so ingrained in how they play basketball.
Yes.
And the grabbing of the arms and stuff like that. The first game he started doing it, you knew it was like an intentional plan. He went into the game, and he didn't play much for game one. Hardenstein. He didn't play much in game one, and they went game two. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to grab him so much that they can't call everything, and this is what we're going to do.
Yes, but that is what I'm saying is you guys want the fabric of basketball in the NBA playoffs to change for Wemby. I've watched every year of my life this has happened in the playoffs. Every year of my life when there has been an opposing player that has been better than everyone. I've watched this my entire life. I don't know what y'all have watched, but I can name every single year.
I've watched it a lot longer.
I can name every single year.
That's not the point.
But my point is, you want them to change that. That's not going to change. We've seen 5 games now.
It
where
has
it's not
happened,
going to change.
and that's the pathetic part of this series.
Don't just say this series. Say it's pathetic about the NBA basketball.
Because what you're missing.
You're talking about dominant, big individuals. Have you ever seen it with Steph Curry? Have you ever seen the NBA allow him to be mauled all series long? Come on now. Let's keep
not
it
off the top of my head. No,
because it's
I'm talking about tall. I'm talking
Yes,
about big.
but
People. That's the only people I named.
But
To be fair,
the other point that you're not acknowledging is in the past, and Phil Jackson was the master of it. He would plant seeds throughout a series in the media, and there would be an ebb and flow to it. There would be, okay, game 2, they got to do whatever the fuck they wanted to do. Then game 3, the game's called a little differently. They respond to his dog whistling, and that's part of the ebb and flow. We haven't seen that in this series.
we haven't seen the coach. We haven't seen the coach put that out.
I understand that. I'm not.
And then there's the adaptation of sports gambling too. Let's also look at that.
Don't got nothing to do
Man,
with it.
come on, man.
Come on, man.
Sports gambling has ruined the fabric of the integrity of the game.
The best team is going to win, man.
You
7
believe that?
games. Yeah. I
So
believe that.
the Cleveland Cavaliers, you feel were better than the Detroit Pistons this year.
Yes.
And so they were also, let me see, your Knicks. I mean, not your Knicks. Your
Tobias
76ers.
Harris as your second best player? Get the F out of here. I'm surprised
right.
they made it that far.
So let me ask you then, because you're 76ers. You beat Boston.
Yes.
So that means you're better than Boston.
1,000%.
Okay, so
Jason
then
Tatum is hampered.
Then when the Knicks beat you 4-0,
Yes.
they're that much better than y'all, or did y'all play poorly and y'all had, burnt out your gas from the Celtics series?
Yeah, Embiid body can't hold up without the playoffs. We've seen that. in
Okay,
his
so
career.
there's other extenuating circumstances that sometimes determine, because we know that the 2015 championship against Golden State versus Cleveland looks completely different with Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving out there.
No, 100%.
So we can't always just say whoever won, that means they're the best team. There's so many different elements that go into it.
The better team in that series is going to win. Is what I'm saying. No matter if you're talking about injuries or you're talking about suspension or whatever, because you could point to the Draymond, you could point to Scottie Pippen, whatever. And what I'm saying is, if and the series is still going on, Spurs still has a chance.
Yeah, they do.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're a strong team, and they're deep, and they have a guy who can arguably say he's the best player in the league. I would appreciate if he can show up to a presser when he has a bad game. This is the second time in this playoff run he hasn't shown up to a presser. He shows up and says, "Yeah, I'm the best player in the world" when he has 40 and 15. But the 2 times where he has bad games, he doesn't show up. I don't like that. But when you have that, you have a chance. With Castle, all those guys that we love. You know what I'm saying? But as of right now, what I'm saying is OKC is just proven to be the better team up to this point. And I think the rest of the stuff it's just small stuff. We give so much credit to these other guys. Like, we don't take away credit from Dwayne Wade's first championship when he was flopping all over the place and got 1,000 times more free throws than Dwayne Wade. We don't. I mean, the SGA. We don't take away Dwayne Wade's credit for him doing all that. And that was the only finals we've ever seen officiated like that.
I was not a fan of that. I thought it was despicable.
Yeah. But we don't take we give him an all-time great and all of that because he had that ring before LeBron and those guys got there.
SGA did get a second consecutive MVP, correct?
Yeah.
So he's being rewarded for his style of play
from the league, but not from fans, and
but
not from the
fans
public.
who desire or grew up in the age. Remember, I'm an old guy, right? I think I'm older than you, matter of fact. Yeah. So just being in a different type of brand of basketball, we like the physicality where you don't have to call the foul. I don't like the idea of watching a guy foul bait every single play down because it's within the rules. You're absolutely correct. I can't argue it's in the rules. But come on, man. You see some of the stuff, the exaggerated movement, the diving into guys. This guy is on the floor more than a broom, man.
More than a truck stop hooker.
Like, what are we talking about? Like, they must practice on gymnastic pads. OKC Thunder must practice on gymnastic pads and just practice their flopping and falling.
So I guess he gets the attention because he's actually the best player. Because Jalen Brunson, my God. I mean, are we just not watching the Knicks play at all?
I'm actually not watching.
Do we not watch New York Knicks play any basketball?
I don't.
Did we not watch James Harden play any basketball when he had a tiny bit of juice in his legs?
I actually
Nobody
do.
said any of these things. Luka Doncic led the league.
That's false.
Led the league in free throw attempts. Luka flops more than anybody.
Harden took a lot of heat for that.
He did.
When he was in his prime. Luka takes heat for it too.
Not as much as
Well,
SGA.
SGA leads the league in
You got
Florida.
stadiums screaming flopper. Nobody did that for James Harden, Jalen Brunson, or Luka.
Jalen Brunson's at 15% right now of times he's on the floor. You know what SGA is?
That Tom Haberstroh is. I'm not going to say
you're gonna say bias.
I'm not going to say it's inaccurate. It's definitely biased. They had Wemby and Joel Embiid close to 0% on the floor, and those guys are on the floor just as much as anybody else.
When we saying on the floor,
that is biased
by your own fruition or being made to hit the floor. See, that's two different things.
Contact floor is what Tom Haberstroh, the report that was made.
Well,
and he went out and did a hit job on SGA, which is a part of my point in all of this, right? And he went after him and compared him to like Harden and whatever, but did not do the entire report for guys who I know. There's no way I don't have to go and look and see how many times. I know Wemby hits the floor a fucking ton. I know Embiid hits the floor every single time down the floor, but he's at 0.5%. That's fucking horseshit. That's horseshit. That's a hit job on SGA.
That's once again, it goes in intent.
He's worthy of it.
Huh?
He's worthy.
You
of
see
it,
what
John.
I'm saying?
No,
but these other guys are not.
All I'm saying
that's
is,
what I'm saying. These other guys are not.
It doesn't
That's
matter.
a thing.
If I get tripped or
doesn't
pushed on the
matter.
floor, it's completely different than me diving into somebody and trying to sell a call. That's two
That's
different
what
things.
these guys are. That's what Embiid is. Jalen Brunson, Luka. That's what these guys are.
I don't disagree
They're
with you.
all in
and
the
I'm
same
not,
school.
I'm not big fans of any of those guys
Right.
in which you're saying.
Right.
What you get what I mean? So
I don't like a
I'm
single
not
one of
just
them.
looking at SGA. He's the only guy. No, I'm not
But
saying
it must be
that.
because he's the best
No,
player.
what I'm saying
must
is
be.
that he gets a lot of attention because he's on the best team in the NBA who just won the championship. If he was a ninth seed or
Well, if he was
care.
James Harden,
Yes.
where no matter how good a season he has, he craps out in the first or second
Yes,
round.
we wouldn't
Nobody
care.
gives a fuck.
But now he's on a national scene, and you're watching playoff basketball in the Western Conference Finals, and you're watching the two-time MVP get somebody up in the air, just dive and throw his arms up in the air and get a. That's not basketball.
My
you
league-
would be mad as hell if somebody did that to you at the YMCA. Come on, think about
and
that.
called a foul. I mean,
And
really,
called a foul.
Like that's
They
the
wanted
thing.
it, Bubba.
Make it personal, because if somebody did that to you continuously and called fouls, you'd be furious.
You'd be furious.
Yeah, but that's okay.
I played against you before. You know what I'm saying? So I
you
know.
Guys, so right now, that's not going to change because that's the rules, right?
Yeah.
So are you saying that you want the league to change? How do you change this? How do you? Because what you're saying
You
is
just don't
guys
call
are
it.
embellishing
You don't
calls.
call it.
There you
so
go.
how do you know?
You
'Cause
just don't
Now
call
it's
that
gonna
right
be an
there.
imbalance.
They
You
will
don't
stop.
call it.
Because remember a couple years ago they threw in the flopping rule and $5,000. What's $5,000 to a person who just made $175,000?
And they only enforced it for like a week or two.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So if you stop calling it, people will stop hitting the ground. You see what I mean? Because
They're hitting the ground for nothing.
Because now you're hitting the ground for
Because
nothing.
you're being like, I mean, it's like a child. You're going to get what you tolerate. And if you tolerate that type of play and that type of flopping, and you give the calls with a lot of consistency, he's rewarded for doing that. Now, he's a great player. If you stop giving him all those calls, he'll modify what he does.
He'll make an
He'll change a
adjustment.
little bit, and it won't be the same. It's shitty basketball to watch. To me, that's not even arguable. It's not fun to watch. The one I hate the most is he gets to the like the elbow area, his spots, but he
Pushes off.
hasn't cleared. He hasn't beaten the defender, and he just like puts his head and shoulder into the body and then fades back. It's just like, dude, this is ridiculous.
But those are not called foul calls.
They're
You're
not-
saying
they're
to
not.
create space. He's
Call offensive foul in that, because that's what it is.
But that's my thing. Like, how many game winners have we seen from Jordan with blatant push-offs?
See, once
That
again,
was not called, but we love that.
You're looking
And he
at
won
it.
a ton.
You're looking at it from a macro sense of trying to say everybody does it.
Right.
What we're trying to really actually say is that if you want viewership to be where it's supposed to be, this is not a brand of basketball. Because here's the facts. Now, Tom, whatever you said his name is,
Tom Haberstroh.
here's the facts. OKC Thunder is one of as the returning champions, are one of the lowest rated TV watches in the entire NBA.
But you know what the OKC public is going to say is because they're one of the smallest markets in the game.
The NBA, a global brand, will market its champions if their champions is playing a brand of basketball with a 2-time MVP on the roster, they're going to market that because guess what? People money in Oklahoma City counts just as much as the ones in New York and LA. You see, at the end of the day.
But that's not an OKC problem.
But
that's a league. That's not an OKC. They're winning games. They're doing what they need to do.
They know how to game the rules. They're literally
that's not an OKC
fouling.
Issue.
They're literally
you have an Adam Silver issue.
Well, see, here's the thing, though. They're
Right?
being coached,
Well,
like
no,
Pink said
because
earlier. They're being coached to do this. They're being coached to foul every play. The Philadelphia Eagles do the same thing. They get coached to commit, hold, and everything else because they know that the league itself, you're right, it's a systemic problem for the league, but they know we are not going to be called for everything we do because it slows down the pace of the game, and we get the league memo on every Wednesday that says this is what we need to have happen. Right? There's a script.
Yeah, I agree.
Don't get it twisted.
If change is going to happen, it has to be through the league and the officiating, and simply not calling these things.
Yeah.
Or calling charges when that's appropriate. Right. And you change the style of play. I mean, that's the answer to it. You know, and I hope for my own personal enjoyment that the league does, because it's not fun to watch at all.
Yeah, because you'll have a terrible time watching the Knicks versus OKC.
I won't watch.
I'm
not kidding.
Jalen Brunson is he's the king to me. I know people say Shai is the king, but I just don't know how much Knicks basketball people have watched. Jalen Brunson is the king because he gets the ball every single time. At least with Shai, other guys are running the offense a ton. Like, you know, McCain will come in and he'll run the offense for a quarter and a half. You know what I mean? Then some stuff run through Jalen when he's there. Some stuff runs through Chet. With the Knicks, everything runs through Jalen Brunson. He's doing that shit every time down the floor.
Well, that's literally why I watched about 15 minutes of the Eastern Conference Final.
Well, Bubba, one thing that you're also leaving out, and this is something that most people wouldn't say, but the difference between Jalen Brunson is viewed and the way Shai is viewed is, Shai is viewed as probably one of the most zestiest players in the NBA. Like, see that element, regardless of what you believe, you know, and everything else, as far as there's still that systemic stigma that comes along with that. Right? Yeah. Of how a person plays, carries themselves. Sure. You see them off the court and he's wearing these broad tops and like it's a different way of how people view him.
But by contrast, Jalen Brunson is the undersized guy that's doing
that
things
everybody rooting
that
for.
A person shouldn't do, and it channels into that underdog mentality and all that stuff. And so
so we turn a blind eye to his foolishness.
I operate on my own.
That's what it is.
I mean, think about it.
That's what it is.
Well, in the NBA right now, how come we know there's gay men in the NBA currently? Why isn't there?
What's going all in on this?
Why? no, seriously though, because like this is the same thing like when we had Michael Sam.
Well, hold on, because what about Cat? Cat is more zesty.
This is what I'm saying.
Yeah, Cat is actually
I get that. But what I'm saying is that why hasn't the NBA welcomed men of that orientation to come out?
We talked about this actually. I think last week, but I think it's because because of the players. I think it's because of the locker room. It's a bigger thing.
No, the market share. Because here's what a lot of people don't want to sit there and admit to, that the NBA market will suffer dramatically because how many in 2026, how many heterosexual white males, who is the demographic of the NBA, who buys those courtside tickets and everything else, and the viewership, how many are going to let their sons wear a Shai Gilgeous-Alexander jersey if he was to come out as gay?
Openly gay.
Come on now. How many shoe sales is going to happen? Come on now, we can still try to act like the elephant ain't in the room.
I don't know. That's a tough question. I'm not sure.
I don't think it's that tough.
It's not.
I don't think
it's not, and you know it's not.
I don't think they're that anti-gay. I think
you don't.
No, I think middle-aged and older black guys are way more.
They're not anti-gay
than like.
They're not anti-gay openly. See, that's the thing, the part that because we know, like if I was a person with a bunch of corporate sponsors, I would get in trouble right now for what I just said. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? So there's a game in which within the game you have to play.
No, I got you.
So in itself, it's not like I could tell you my true feelings on a platform.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You get what I mean?
Right.
So I always have to have the corporate answer. But being a guy who's been in the locker room, who hears certain things, who's been seeing how it really works, and knowing the real world.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm
you see
not
what I'm
going
saying?
to tell you you're wrong.
Come on,
I
man.
really don't know the answer.
It's
So
different.
you could definitely be right.
I mean,
definitely be
the
right.
couple things I boil down to is I do think it is not in the commercial interest of the league or the player to come out as gay for that reason. And then the other thing that we said too is that if somebody comes out as gay, that becomes the defining characteristic of your career. Yeah. And let's say you're Jared McCain. You're in your second year of basketball, and he already kind of comes off zesty, what have you. But if he were to kind of openly gay, that's like literally like every story about him begins with openly gay basketball player, whatever. Who wants that? Like on an individual
76ers fans.
No, even if you, I mean, even if you are a gay person, like you don't want every story about you to begin with. Here, openly gay basketball player, openly gay football player.
It still follows Jalen Green.
It's overwhelming, as it should.
It still follows Jalen Green.
Yeah.
Come on now, and that's one of those things where he's dated older women and did all this ever since.
Yeah.
But we kind of all still look at him as,
You can't
That's why in my head,
video, bro.
you can't unsee it.
You can't see it. In my head, I'm thinking like, because Shai is like a ultimate white girl, like Slayer. But that don't mean that.
Thank you.
It don't
See,
mean
that it's just perception, and sometimes perception in the corporate world shapes reality.
No, 100%. That could play. That could play a factor as well. That could play a factor. So, what do y'all see? I mean, what do y'all see? I know y'all hoping for Spurs, but what do you really see?
Give me a game 7. Give me a game 7.
We getting a game 7.
I want a game 7.
I think
I
we'll
want a
get
game 7.
Okay.
And I really don't care who wins.
I would actually be. I care deeply that the Spurs win. I actually think that like you will likely see a different type of officiating in Game 6.
Okay.
Which
it's been a lot of
but it's also gets you a Game 7, and that's what that's what
marketability.
It is. And then you get to Game 7 and see what happens. Yeah, and OKC will be at home. They'll probably get friendly whistles all fucking night, and you're gonna have to overcome a lot.
Yeah. This
5 on 8.
Does most people understand how the business world works? And remember, back to my original point as far as sports gambling, the people not realize that the NBA and Prize Picks and all these different sports books have licensing agreements where they're paying. So
they're in bed together.
So they're in bed together. So if you're in bed together, it behooves you. Ticket sales alone, just for gate sales, anywhere between $50 to $75 million, just for gate sales. That's not counting TV advertising. That's not counting gambling sites and revenue and all. That's not counting that. So you're talking about $200 to $300 million in additional revenue. So look at it this way: $250 million for just having one additional game. Guess what? Fuck them files. You see, you understand what I'm saying?
I think like that, but
come on now, you got to really think business.
I always understand that standpoint, but then I look and I say, okay, the Knicks have 2 sweeps in a row,
but nobody cares. Like, I don't think outside of New York people are watching that team.
No, I'm talking about business wise, not even.
But I'm saying,
I understand where you're coming
this
from.
Series was billed as essentially a final.
Yes.
Most people believe that whoever wins this series is going to roll the Knicks or whoever came out of the East. And I think they're going to juice this final for as much as they can get out of it. Because I think if you get an uneven series, kind of a lame 4-1 series in the final, like your viewership's going to drop, like throughout the course of that series. Plus, you're getting into the World Cup at that point, and unless you have something amazing to watch, a lot of people are going to move on.
So you're saying, so you want to juice this?
And a lot of people talk about the games are rigged. And say I'm not one of those conspiracy theories. What I will say is that the Knicks Cavaliers, for example, if the Knicks are better and they're making shots and playing harder, they're going to win the game. And even if there was a script, you can't follow the script if Cleveland doesn't want to comply or don't have the legs to comply.
Well, and by the same token, I mean, if the Spurs come out and go 4 for 25 from 3-point
they're
range,
going to lose. You're going to lose.
But if the game is competitive, I think it's going to be officiated a little differently, and they'll be given an opportunity to win. Essentially,
100%. We'll definitely see what we get from there. Once again, you're still on the bench podcast with Bubba and Pink, home of sports, music, and mayhem. Don't forget we're available on all, and I do mean all podcast streaming platforms. Like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. We have director of the Ace League, Orlando ProAM in the building, Will Lee. All right, let's get into some Ace League talk, man.
All right,
let's get into some Ace League talk. So, this right here is a photo you sent to me earlier about with the ProAM rosters and all of that good stuff. Let's see here, because you said something off camera about this maybe being one of your most exciting Ace League seasons coming up. Talk about that real quick.
Yeah. So the first thing that I know right now, I have 109 registered basketball players, rather pro, collegiate, top collegiate guys. And so when we're talking about is that right now I got 47 new first-time Ace League players. That's the most I've ever had in any year since I started this in 2019. So with that being said, and the hunger and the willingness to want to prove themselves, the willingness of wanting to get better and get that bigger contract overseas, that is going to be a mitigating factor for a lot of these guys, because they see where a lot of these established pro players are in, and they want to get to that level.
Right.
And so they're coming with a different hunger, and they're really going to measure themselves up against these other pro guys. So you're going to have guys who are very prideful, who aren't just going to let these young guys come in, like a Travis McConaughey and things of that nature, who are going to fight back. Shout out to Travis too. I just seen hit that buzzer beater. You know what I mean? Yeah, no question. But yeah, you're in that space. You see what I mean? So that's going to create an environment. And here's the other part of it: a lot of these young kids have large social media followings, and those large social media followings are going to get a lot more people into the gym, which is going to create an atmosphere as well, because you have some guy that has fresh out of college, but he has 10,000 followers, and you got a guy who's a pro like a Chris Warren, who that's an established pro, but he doesn't have the same enthusiastic young crowd that's following him, because at the end of the day, when he was coming up, the social media wasn't the end-all be-all the way it is today.
Yeah.
So now you're creating a whole different environment. You see what I mean? So now they get to see some of the legends play, and they get to see what their young studs play. And I'm excited about this season, unlike any other season, because there's so many guys I don't know about that's coming into the league. That's like, it's going to be the first time. We found out last year, the Jordan Turbo Smiths. We found out about the Jordan Sayers, Sears, and all that type deal. Like, I'm like, I'd never even heard of these kids before. And then when they get into the league, I'm like, oh.
Shout out to Turbo. Turbo came on the pod. Did Sears come too?
No, he left early.
He left early.
Yeah, he went to Germany.
Around by the final. He was in
Germany. Shout out to Turbo. Turbo came through the podcast and blessed us.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you this, and this is kind of like I'm hitting you on the side with one of these questions here. You ever thought about, when you're talking about getting like these people come to the game because of the followings, you ever thought about like getting more, finding the next Chris Warrens of the Orlandos and surrounding areas? You ever do you ever put any thought and like action into that?
Yes, that's what we got this year.
What do you mean by that though?
Like because
the recruitment process.
Yeah, because like a lot of people, like Chris Warren has like people that will come see him play, especially when he was like younger and fresher out of high school, and like Darius Washington, guys like that. And so like and people will come out and watch those guys fresher out of high school because they're on their brains. Like, we just saw.
I think that's what he basically just said.
Yeah, that's what we have.
Well, they have. I heard him say that they have a lot of guys coming from a lot of these places that he doesn't know. Right?
No,
but
but
I'm talking about Oak Ridges. I'm talking about Winter Parks, Boones.
But he was I
know I see one guy you had from Rollins. Stuff like that. Yeah, UCF. I remember one time you had like two UCF guys.
Yeah.
So
I have that this year.
Okay.
So I have guys from UCF. I have guys from different high schools. Who there was one kid from Olympia High School. He's now at what was it, Mercer or something of that nature. I know I got his name here somewhere.
Okay.
But I got
Dawson go to.
Yeah. There's so many guys this year that are young. This is what I'm talking about. Like, these are guys who are Like the guy I released today, I was on the phone with him earlier, Isaiah Adams. He played in Ace before.
Couple years ago.
Yeah, a couple years ago. And he's Mr. Basketball here.
Oh,
you know, in 2020.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
That's what I'm
And so
talking about,
now
like that.
now he's a pro. You know what I mean? I got on the phone with him earlier today, and, he had called me, through somebody else, another pro who was like, hey, Isaiah wants to play. And I was like, yeah, I remember him. You know what I mean? And this is a space where we have, once those young guys see other young guys playing, man, my phone been going off. Since we've been sitting here, I've gotten a couple messages. Yeah. You see what I mean? So it's, matter of fact, what's this? Jay-Sean Aldridge, Eric Butler. Since I've been sitting here, now I got to research these guys. I got to put that out there, see if their other stuff and everything else. But yeah, man, and that's not even counting the guys who went to a smaller school, JUCO, they're in Division 2 or 3, and things of that nature, who hit my inbox up like, yo, I'm trying to get on, but I know I can't sell them to the team owners because y'all have a team full of pros.
Right.
I'm really kind of tired. And I know that more people talking about, let's have more teams.
I was going to ask about that.
Yes.
Because, we only have 6, which is pretty limited.
Yes.
But, again, I like having a few more teams because it does kind of diversify the talent and it gives more opportunity to guys.
Okay.
The reality that I'm looking at is you have tons of names on all these rosters, and it's not practical for most of these people to show up on a given night because, you don't need more than 8 guys, really, on a given night. If you have more than 8, you're kind of like trying to crowbar minutes for people, and it gets a little tight. But, who's going to show up when, and what are they going to do when they're there? That's what it ultimately, like from the participants coaching, where the angle that I'm at, like that's what matters. Like you could have all those top shot guys, and if they show up and have 5 dudes and it's arguably like 4 of the 5 weakest guys, it's a different game. Like when Brandon Moss shows up and Turbo shows up, like that changes the level of the game.
Absolutely.
Period. And so that's I always like, you love to see the names. It's really cool. Who's going to show up? Who's going to show up consistently?
Yeah.
That was like the better teams last year had a really good job of doing that. They had consistent guys. Even Heart and Soul had pretty much, except Travis had some misses, but most of their guys were there every week.
Absolutely.
Grant Riller showed up with great consistency.
Yes, he did.
Is he coming back?
And balled out. No, he's with TNT, and he's the way he lost that championship game. Yeah.
So, but like that's the key, is who's actually going to show up and what is that going to look like night to night?
Yeah, no, and that's a great question because what I did in this year, and I did it also last year, I like doing the 6 because it's 3 games a night. You get right to it, 6, 7, and 8, and it condenses the talent. Because what I've seen in years past, because like in 22, I did 10 teams. And in 22, there's the top 4 teams that are really, really good. You got another 3 that are pretty solid that could win on any given night. Then you had 3 that was kind of like, y'all know you're going to run through them. And when you know it's going to run through it, because remember, I got people and players coming from all over Florida. Now I got a team this year coming from Knoxville, Tennessee. When you are coming that far, you want to see what Ace is really, really about. Yeah. So you want the best guys. And see, here's the difference between years past. When you have those seasoned pros, they're getting fresh back from over the water. They're going to need their break. They want their family times. They've been away for months, so on and so forth. They're going to pick and choose when they show up. These young guys love playing basketball as much as they can, and they want all the smoke.
Yeah.
And so that's why I think this year is so much different. Yes, there's a lot of names on here. And the coaches, the team owners, they got the problem, not me. You know what I'm saying? They got to figure out how to handle all this. All I do is they tell me matter of fact, your roster. I got 22 names from Juan. So at the end of the day, that's on Juan to figure out how he wants to use guys. I know how many jerseys. I'm giving you 15 jerseys. Now, what you do with that?
I ain't gonna get 22.
Yeah, what you do with that is on you. You know what I mean? And so that's also gives you a realistic view of what it's like in a very smaller scale, because obviously you're not paying people millions of dollars or thousands of dollars to play in this, but it gives you a small scale of how difficult it is to make a decision between this guy who's really good and this guy who's really good, but he doesn't fit the matchup, or this guy who, got the size, but, this guy is probably better. Like, you got a lot of decisions to make as a GM in Ace, because you're talking about pro level guys. You're talking about high level collegiate guys. I got all A10 players this year. I'm talking about first teamers. Like, you know what I'm saying? So you got the fresh college guys who are about to go pro this coming fall, ready to eat.
Facts.
So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
Now let's talk about the pricing, and I got a follow-up question for you on that. But let's talk about the pricing and where it's at, and how, and how much it's going to cost for them to see these games.
All right. So kids always free, 0 to 17. That will never change as long as I'm the director. So you always be able to bring the kids out and just let them be right there, be able to touch, see, be right next to these pros. That the pros sit in the stands right next to them. So it's a wonderful time for the kids to aspire to be something greater than themselves. Then you have adults is $10 at the door, or you can buy season tickets, and that's $25 for that's 8 dates, right? But that's a total of maybe anywhere between 19 to 24 games, and that includes playoffs and everything else. So if you're somebody who comes to the Ace League on a regular basis, it just makes more sense to do it that way.
If you come 3 out of the 8 days, you've got
you already got you've already got enough. And so I have a lot of Ace League representatives this year that's also selling tickets. So so I'm doing it differently this year, where I'm helping people in the community get money, because I'm selling it for 25, they getting 10.
Oh wow.
They're getting 10. So every season ticket that's sold, you keep 10 for you. Okay. You get what I mean? Because for me, it's about creating a space. I've never did this about money. Most people don't realize that it costs me money to run Ace, right? See, people don't understand that, right? So it costs me money to run Ace. So essentially, what I want though is that when these guys come home, they get to play in front of crowds that hadn't seen them in a while, right? Because like if you're over the water for 8 months out of the year and you've been over there for the last 10 years, when is the last time your best friends actually seen you? If you played somewhere in Turkey or someplace like that, when is the last time your best friends, the homeboys you grew up with, went to high school with, your parents, friends, all that, even your children? Yeah. When is the last time they actually got to see you play?
No, 1,000%. That's why I asked you that earlier question.
Yeah.
And then you kind of tackled my follow-up, which is, I wonder how have you altered or changed or added to your marketing strategy for the Ace League in particular? And I love that you said the tickets, the season ticket.
Yeah, I'm really pushing that. I mean, I'm really pushing that this year, because I would love for the community to come out and support. Yeah. You're not coming out to just support Will Lee, because that's not really, it's not about me. Because Ace is bigger than Will Lee. Ace will be here when I'm not. And so it's one of those things where I want something where the community can come to, that they know what the brand stood on. They bringing people together, having a good time, competitive basketball, family fun environments, and things of that nature. That's what it's always been about,
Is that the because even before we started having you on the podcast, that's just something I like to come to. Like, that was something I love to come to and see. So is that something, what is the right messaging to get people to feel like, okay, this is something I want to either support, see, what is that? Have you found that right messaging? Because
honestly, if I'm being all the way transparent, I believe it's more so of the message is not wrong. It's more so of people view the messenger. And so viewing the messenger, as y'all know, being my Facebook friends and social media friends, I touch on topics and things that a lot of people view as controversial. Yeah. And I talk about it in such a real and direct way that people were like, it turns them off. Like, you know what I mean? People don't want to talk about the real reason why your wife cheated on you, or why you were, a scumbucket husband, or, they don't want to talk about that, because that is requiring you to look in the mirror and within yourself.
Like you made me do earlier.
Yeah. So you see what I'm saying? So people are not comfortable with that, and I get that. So it doesn't necessarily make you a fan favorite. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I have a take that it's not I mean, the marketing message is part of it, but I also think that there's a tipping point when you get enough people to kind of show consistently, and you go to the Ace Gym and it's like, oh, I know I'm going to see Bubba there. I know I'm going to see so-and-so there. And it becomes a social gathering.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's like, that kind of, there's a point outside or just beyond the messaging where it just kind of takes off. And we've been there in the past, and then we've been, some years it just hasn't resonated that way. But like it is that thing when like you kind of know, if I'm going to pull up tonight and I know I'm going to run into these different people, it's going to be fun. And I always thought, the weekdays are better because people have their own stuff going on in the weekend. It's a little bit of a harder sell. But you take like, Monday, Tuesday night, like maybe you've worked a day and then it's like, I could go to the gym. I could go home.
Food for you this year.
Yeah, and I can.
But because last year those food trucks were good.
Oh, no, I got multiple food trucks coming in for y'all this year.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
But
and you got the DJ coming back.
DJ coming back.
And you on the mic.
And I'm on the mic.
Yeah,
So
and you just
that's a
get
good
that
recipe.
thing where it becomes an atmosphere. It's like, I'll skip the gym today or skip whatever, going home early. I'll come watch some games, hang out, whatever. So that's the thing. I mean, the more people that come out, the better the atmosphere.
Yes.
So that's
it does. It
that's
changes the
reality.
game. That year with R.J. Hampton and D. Bacon, I remember that was a game-winning buzzer beater alley-oop.
Yeah,
right.
that's right.
It was. You really, and that's Polk County too, though, because they travel well. So see, that's what I mean by this year. I'm expecting that type of energy because a lot of these kids have a lot of people who follow them. A lot of these kids, like I got one pro. I'm not gonna say his name, but he's a young guy, just turned pro. You actually know him, and he is literally calling me, texting me every day, sending me voice messages on Instagram. Like, I'm so happy about this. I'm letting everybody know my people's gonna be showing up. We out here in the dro. Like that type of energy. When people are coming in, these young kids coming in, they're going to change the dynamic. And it's something else that I've been doing and I'm still looking to research as far as getting more cheerleaders, local cheerleading high schooler group. Because, that's going to give these young ladies opportunities to perform in front of professional athletes. It also brings their parents in here to see what the space is. Because you've been to Ace Games, y'all know what it is. It's a family, well-run games. It is highly competitive, great atmosphere, good music, good food, good vibes.
No, knock on wood.
Yeah.
I've never seen any foolishness.
No,
in
never.
Up X amount of years I've seen. Never seen any foolishness.
No. So we run it in a space of love. Like this has been run out of love of the game. I love the game. Like this is something I knew I was always going to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where I just love being around basketball.
No, 100%.
Yeah.
Now let's get down to some nitty gritty here. All right. So what's the best team we got? What people who's going to come in watching these guys for the first time, or maybe they following one guy and they just what's the best team? What I mean?
Okay, so this is the way I'm going to answer that question is this. I have 4 returning Ace League champions this year. 4. And so now we're in a space where we got 4 teams that know how to win Ace, okay? And they are loaded. And when I say loaded, each one of those teams are dropping new players and putting new players on all the time. I made a live post and I had said NCF Elite because in full transparency, I had my hands on NCF Elite. I've helped build that roster, and every roster that I ever built went to an Ace League final. So I'd like to pat myself on the back that I might know what I'm doing a little bit. But that space right there, you had to put my feet to the fire to say who the best team is, I got to go with Top Shotters.
Top Shotters. And what's some of those characters? What's some of the names?
Well, they're the defending champions.
They're the defending champions.
Just, for people watching, what's some of the names?
Defending champions, you got Brandon Moss, obviously, from the Big Three, played in the South Bay Lakers. You got Blake Henson, he played, in the league this past season. You got Dior Johnson that they just sat there. That kid's a bucket. Like, he's a bucket. You got Turbo coming back. You got David Nickelberry. You got, they got the big fella, Ashton Andrews. This is new. He's 6'10", and he's a problem. He's a double-double machine. Like, you're talking about Jordan Sears back, Big Keith Clanton. I mean, Tim, Amari Archibald is back. If you don't remember Amari, he came and played. He played in 23. He's a problem.
Oh, wow.
No, he's top 3 best guard in the league right now. Like that, easy.
Okay.
Easy. I don't care who
Even
you talking about.
with Turbo and Sears.
You heard what I just said. You heard what I said. Look, I said it with my chest. Pink you watched him, right?
Yeah, he's very good.
He's very good. Like he's very, very good.
I can't wait to see him.
So yeah, we have those type of things. You know,
did Melo come back on that roster?
Yeah, Melo's back on there. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, of course. Melo's one of my OGs.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Matter of fact, he won the first
I
H
just
League
didn't know maybe
championship.
if he went to another team.
No.
or not.
Melo,
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
he's out there. And so then I would probably go over here because I've always underestimated the heart of certain people. Like, you know what I mean? You can't measure the dog by a piece of paper. So there's teams like Metro West who I know is just recruiting dogs.
That's Kev, right?
That's Kev and them,
Okay.
right? So they back from the 2022 championship. They got a whole new revamped roster. And just like you said, there's some kid named Mason Sheffield. I heard he's a local guy, right? Okay. And, you know, he played in Miami, but, you know, like a local guy. And it's one of those things where I heard he's really nice. They talk about this kid, Zach Bryan. I released his name. People was going crazy from Jacksonville. They like, oh, he's a bucket.
Scooty, yeah.
Yeah,
He did TBT in Miami with us.
Okay.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
You like him? His game?
Oh, he's very good. He's a very bouncy guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
He can
What is
play.
that, guard or forward?
He's a guard.
Okay.
Yeah. He's notably unreliable though.
Like showing
Like
up.
showing up.
Okay.
See,
Yeah,
so
But his game
We
is
were
there.
supposed to have him show up like 2 summers ago and just never got him to get
Yeah.
to the trip. You know?
So you had that situation, and see, I reached out to him because when it comes, you know, no, if Kev, you see this, it's just one of those things. I verify that the guys you tell me are actually playing by going to the guy to find out.
Right.
And when he told me he was playing, like he hit me up. You know what I mean? So
you know who he's friends with Enrique Bush.
yes,
yeah?
that's
Yeah.
on that roster
And-
as well.
and-
Enrique on that?
Enrique's on their roster as well.
And Scooty,
Talking about two unreliable guys.
Scooty played in that whatever the Claremont Croc,
Yeah.
whatever team Enrique was playing with. Scooty played a handful of games one season there because I guess he didn't have anything better to do.
Okay.
Yeah,
But Enrique could hoop too, though.
Yeah, so you got that. You got those guys. I got Ja Niz. Coach Rowe reached out to me and said, "Hey, I need you to get my guy on."
TNT.
No, from TNT.
Okay.
Because TNT wasn't able to do it this year,
Right.
but they coming back next year. But he was like, "Yeah, I need you to get Ja on." And I was like, "All right, let me look this kid up." Looked him up from Rollins. It's like, no, he ain't half
Okay,
bad.
so that's the one I seen from Rob.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
he's not half bad. So, and then you got guys like Isaiah Adams and things of that nature who, you know, they're doing well. So they're going to have some dog. I like my NCF Elite team that I built.
Okay.
I really do because of the pieces in which it's coming that none of y'all really know about for real. And there's some people that you do, like David Green, who played under the Popka, right?
Yeah.
You know, guys like that. He's going to do what? Play hard.
Yeah.
That's what you know he's going to do. And you got people like him. You got people like Ingram, Eddie Davis. You know, got Culpepper. I know
the
you
one
like
you
him.
like? Yeah, I like
Yeah, I
Culpepper.
know you like
That's my
Culpepper. I
boy,
got my
man.
son out there. So
Okay.
you know he gonna play donkey.
So they gonna
defense.
play hard.
They gonna play hard. You're not gonna just walk out there and just go through the motions.
Yeah.
That's not gonna happen. And then this big kid, the 6'10" kid, he gonna put it on your head.
Yeah.
The Zacavian Whitehead,
Okay.
he gonna put it on your head. You see, so that's that part. Like, cause that's what he does. Think of it like this, like a young Dwight. Like, you see what I mean? That's what he does. It's toss it up. Wherever you toss it up, he goes and gets it. You see what I mean? So we have a lot of those guys who, you know, are coming from the Jacksonville area, coming from the Gainesville area, coming from all these other different places. Oh, and I forgot to even say, probably their best player on this team is Terrence Goyard or Gunyard. I'm saying if I'm tearing it up. He played.
You know him?
I saw the post.
He's an A10 All-American.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
I put the post down, and here's the sad part. Now I have to own this one. Sad part is that he reached out to me last year to play, and my inbox be so full, I lose messages. And so I was just going through this year earlier and just start. All right, let me backtrack and see who I missed and this and the third. And said, wait a second. I looked the kid up. Was like, wait a second. Oh, you's a bucket. You know what I'm saying? Like he's a 21-7 guy at D1.
That's legit now.
Yeah, you see what I mean? So
That's legit.
This gonna be fun, man.
Yeah.
This is really, really gonna be fun.
Okay.
Like Pedro Posse, I know what they bring. You see what I mean? I know that they're gonna be coached well. They're going to try to play team basketball. And I see that they did some revamp. I couldn't give you my true synopsis on their roster because I don't know who Jared Berry, Joel Berry's little brother, he reached out to me. I didn't know who he was from a hill of beans. That's 90% of these guys who reach out to me, I don't know who you are. You know what I mean? I'm just old and kind of, that part. So I have to do my research on you. Now, seeing that he played well at Embry-Riddle, and y'all had a couple years ago, you had Romeo Crouch, from Embry-Riddle. So I know that they're coached well out there. They're going to play well. You got guys like Niven. I just don't know if Pedro is. I see. I like it.
I did catch my time. My peripheral, what's going on there?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if they're 3-time champions.
We're going to find out early because you got them against top shots.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
We're going to find out early.
Because it's like I want to see what Pedro is because remember, there was a point in time where I called it the Pedro Posse Invitational. I didn't even call it the Ace League no more. I just called it the Pedro Posse Invitational. But they haven't won in 5 years. So now, what can I say? Like it. Do they still got the moxie or no? You see what I mean? So that's really a real question. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no question.
We're gonna come down to it.
Yeah.
Now I'm you either gonna blow this question off or you're gonna do a little politicking.
Okay, talk to me.
There are a couple of names that come into my brain, and I wonder that why has this person never been in the Ace League? Okay. And one of these people always play in the Orlando area 5 to 6 days a week. Everybody knows him, and we put this clip out. He may even respond to it. Is Austin Rivers, a guy like Austin Rivers?
Oh, okay, that's easy. That's easy enough.
So talk like, why do you think we haven't seen Austin Rivers in the Ace League?
Okay, so here's the thing. Austin has came to an Ace League game. I got photos. You know what I mean? He's came. He's seen it. I know he's, y'all know him pretty well through the Pedro Posse system and everything else. Like Austin, I worked with Iron with him to help him train Austin over at So I've had conversations with Austin. The thing is, at the time when he came, he was still an active NBA player. And so being an active NBA player, you can't run the risk, especially when you're looking for a contract, a new job.
Yeah, at the time the Ace was coming about, he was in that situation where most summers he was finding his next deal.
Yeah,
and
so
you
that's
can't
just
put yourself in harm's way.
Yeah, you can't put yourself in harm's way. And so now, given the space he's in now, it's I see the back and forth he's going with the street ballers and things of that nature, and I see him over at the gym over there. Yeah, he's out there. He's getting his little runs in, so I know he's staying in good shape, and the door will always be open for him. That's a choice that he has to make. You know what I mean? It's not like I would turn him away. You get what I mean?
Okay.
So it's not like that.
Okay. All right. Well, we're definitely going to come back to the Ace League. I got a few more questions for you for sure.
You didn't have any other names?
Huh?
I thought you might have 2 or 3 names.
Yeah, that was the main.
That was here. I thought we had more juice in that segment.
I'm a Winter Park alumni. You know what I mean?
No, by all means.
You know what I mean?
I still thought there was going to be some other names out there.
Got to check the water there. You're still on the bench podcast with Bubba and Pimp. We're going to come back to the Ace League for sure. A few quick topics I wanted to get to. Let's stay in the world of basketball because I want to get y'all take on. I know we talked about, I talked about Jalen Brunson is flopping, but that's not what I want to talk about here. I want to talk about are the Knicks, do you think they're really this good or is the East that bad?
I think they've had a fortuitous road. They started with the Hawks and kind of actually lost a game or two in that series, but then they reached a point where they just annihilated them. But the next 2 opponents for me, Philadelphia and the Cavs, were basically broken teams. Embiid, the Celtics-Sixers series was decided by Embiid playing at a high level. He wasn't able to do that in New York, and it was not a series. And then Cleveland, I don't have to fall out of my chair. James Harden's a bitch. Always will be. Fuck him. He's folds like a house of cards. I mean, he's useless. Tits on a bull. But it is what it is. They basically played some shitty opponents. But that doesn't mean, I wouldn't bet a borrowed dime on them to win the final. But they have a chance.
No, I mean, look, are these NBA teams they're beating?
Oh yeah.
They get paid on the same time?
Oh yeah. Playoff
NBA
playoff teams.
So then I guess I'm looking at it from a standpoint of if they were squeaking by these teams, then I would say maybe they're not as good as they're predicting. But to beat NBA teams, I don't care how bad the team is, but a playoff team, to whip them by 50, to whip by 40, to whip by 37, you got something. And there's always that season where everything clicks. Like we watched it with the 04 Pistons, right? Everything just clicked. We know that they should not have beat the Lakers, right? But just everything seemed to have clicked right when it's supposed to, and they put belt to ass. You know what I mean? And sometimes it just happens that way.
Facts.
And so that I believe that it might be the Knicks, maybe as the sound cliche, but a team of destiny. Is that it's not like they haven't, been good for a while, and now all of a sudden all the pieces are in play. They're playing well. They have familiarity with each other, even dating back to college. You can tell the guys genuinely play for each other. That's a recipe for success, no matter how you want to look at it. Team, not individual talent.
Right.
Team always wins.
The one notable thing too is that like almost all their role guys have been exceptional throughout the playoffs, shooting it very well, making good plays. I mean, definitely have that going for them.
Yeah.
But
definitely.
And they got the mayor.
Of New York.
Yeah.
What, at every game on this
Well,
side?
he comes to some games, but like since he's become mayor, his favorite soccer team has won the EPL, and the Knicks are on this roll.
Good luck charm.
He's believed to be a good luck charm. Hopefully that good luck ends on Saturday, though.
Oh, with the soccer.
Yeah.
With the Knicks, man, I don't know, because you come into the season and I tell myself, we know the East is going to be weak because of the injuries and because of the circumstances. So whoever comes out is going to be a paper champ because they're going to get killed by the West. But when you watch it unfold the way it unfolded, like Will has already explained, you're like, well, wait, hold up. There might be something here. And so I've went back on my thinking of the East is weak, so it doesn't matter what we saw there because of the way that they did it. You know what I mean? Because they've clearly leapfrogged themselves to be the for sure best team in the East, like without any questions. And I at least thought that those teams were in the same realm of each other, the Knicks, Celtics, Sixers, and Cavs. You know what I mean? And maybe I fooled myself on the Cavs. Even the Sixers, we got swept too, so whatever. But, and they're just, like you said, all of the role players, stars, everybody's playing well. You know what I mean? I haven't heard a bad thing about Cat in 2 months. And Lord knows, I was hearing something every other day. So it's like all of their guys are just playing at an extremely high level. I can't wait to see the finals and how they line up with any one of these two teams.
I mean, like, here's the reality. Over the last 15 years, it's 8-6 right now. The West has 8. The East has 6.
So it's not like
it's not this big dynamic difference. Like,
right.
A lot of people don't realize that, though. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I don't put much stock in that.
Yeah, I mean,
14-year window. I mean, just different times.
It's different times and everything else. But so when do we make this determination that the East is weak? Because we do it when LeBron was there, right? We did it when LeBron was there, but we didn't do it when Mike was there. But Mike played literally the couple months before LeBron got drafted to the East. So what are we doing that? When he started winning his championships, they had 4 expansion teams in the East alone.
Yeah.
So when do we started saying the East become weak? Because I think we pick and choose when we want to sit there and say that based off of no verifiable matrix. You know what I mean? Just opinion.
I think this coming into this season, there were legitimate questions with like the Halliburton injury undid Indiana, who was a finalist last year. And then the Tatum injury really created like, can the Celtics make the playoff? What are they going to do? Now they did much better than expected, but I do think that like there were some legitimate things with some of the teams that are like, hey, this is going to shake things up because 2 or 3 of the best teams in this conference are now down significant players. And so that was real.
I understand
that. Wasn't just,
No, I understand
perception.
that. But Indiana, for example, Indiana is exactly what we were talking about with the Knicks. Because nobody seen Indiana doing what they were doing. I don't even think the Pacers players thought that they were going to make the kind of run that they made.
It was a surprise.
So it was a surprise. And so then you have that type of situation all the time, right? Milwaukee made theirs in 21. You get all sorts of Toronto did it in 19, and you never know. I guess that's what I'm saying.
The Heat had the 2 finals runs.
Yeah, the Heat had theirs, and so what are we talking about though in the West? Like when we came into the season, we really called it a 3-head race, if that. We kind of said OKC was head and shoulders above everybody else. Then it was like Denver and maybe Minnesota. Like that was really it. Like everybody else was.
Some people on Houston.
All right, you might have a good team. You might be able to compete, but when the rubber need to meet the road, everybody pretty much had those 2, Denver and OKC. Minnesota, maybe. You know what I mean?
They had too many questions for me. No,
huh?
They had too many questions for me.
Yeah,
Houston, but your point still remains.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? So it's not like we let these narratives just get to running when the West is pretty much predetermined too. Like San Antonio came out of nowhere because we were like, y'all are a year early. We knew they were going to be good.
Right.
We didn't know they were going to be this good this fast. Yeah. So it's kind of like we came into the year a 2-headed race in the West and maybe a 2-headed race in the East.
I mean, I came into it just looking at, can anybody catch the Thunder? That's just how I looked at it. Yeah. I called them champions the year before, and they didn't get worse. They really suffered no appreciable losses on that team.
Tier.
And they're coming back intact, like until somebody shows you that they're better.
Are you talking about OKC?
Yes,
it was a report came out today. They're trying to actively trade up into the top 5 of the draft this year.
Okay,
and they have the assets to do it.
Right.
And I've been thinking all along,
and they're at 12 now or 11?
Is that what they are?
Yeah, they're at 12 or 11.
And I've been thinking all along.
Who are they targeting? Is the more interesting question.
That's Caleb or Duke's Ford.
Boozer.
Really? So Caleb or Boozer. Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
That's just the report. Now that's not coming direct. That's just
Would you do that because of the financial reasons? Do you think that they're doing that because Chet and Jalen are coming off of their rookie deals now and are due for $88 million next year or whatever?
Next year they're going to their max. I think Jalen. If you ask me, I think they may be trying to move off of Jalen.
Jalen in the 12 for the 5. Would you do it?
I think so.
If he's gonna be
who is the 5?
He's gonna be an injured guy for the rest of his life. Yeah, I don't know. That's tough. I mean, that's why I said it depends on who you're getting. And 5's an odd spot because
that's the Clippers.
Well, I don't know I don't know exactly who's gonna be there. I mean, there could be some
5, because it could be A-Cuff, it could be McHale.
Yeah, you don't know with a lot of certainty. Mm-hmm. If you're maybe 1 or 2, like there's a high level of this or that.
I think top 4 you're safe.
Like Memphis.
I mean top 5 actually.
Well, I'm not saying you're going to get a bad player, but if you're like a forward-thinking organization, you're going to make that type of move. You probably have a very specific, person
target
in mind.
That's what I'm saying. So if you're Memphis Grizzlies at number 3, I think you might take that. Jalen Williams and the number 12 pick for number 3.
Yeah.
In a deep draft?
Yeah, because
this is one of those ones, man.
And the 3 is obviously significantly better than the 5.
Yeah.
So I would, but like again, I mean, and I feel like there is occasionally you have to consolidate your assets and move for something specific. Because when you have too many assets, too many picks, too many players that deserve minutes,
and that's what they have
at some point, like you're gonna lose them anyway. And some of the younger guys aren't going to get opportunity. Too smart for that.
He'll get off of them first.
But I think that's the thing is sometimes you make a consolidation package, maybe a couple young players. Maybe it's not even Jalen Williams. I'm not sure. Maybe they package some of these other guys that have shown well and a pick and you do that so you're not stuck with like literally too many picks and you don't have opportunities to really integrate people into your team.
Could you get away with that, Pink? And I'm just asking this question. Could you get away with that as the Grizzlies GM of taking an Isaiah Joe in the 12th pick? You know what I mean?
I don't think it could be an Isaiah Joe.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
No, it's got to be higher than that.
Yeah, it's got to be. It's got to be one of their big 3. It's got to be.
Yeah.
And no, it ain't gonna be Shai. So, what that leave you with? You know what I mean? Because like I can't see anybody with any common sense thinking they can keep their job by trading the 3rd pick in this year's draft. Because like 2026 draft is one of those ones. When I mean by one of those ones, I'm talking about LeBron, Melo, that type of draft.
Yeah.
Like I really truly believe that this is one of those
That
ones.
Memphis specifically has to get rid of Ja. That's the
He's
bigger
been
problem.
on the block, but
but I mean, they are stuck
until
moving forward until they get rid of him.
Until you figure that out.
Like he's what are they gonna give you for him? Bubble gum?
Well,
Like
Miami
nobody
Heat is
gonna want
interested,
him.
but Miami Heat wants to wait on the Giannis.
No,
thing,
I
so.
brought that up to say they're kind of screwed as a franchise.
Yes.
Oh, I see what you're
Because
saying.
they have to get rid of this guy, and there's not a market for him. But going back to the Thunder, I mean, maybe you could do something where it's like maybe you're giving McLean and the other J-Dub guy for the 12 plus maybe two future first round
they got a
picks
ton of picks
for the 3, and then like somebody's gonna do that.
Yeah,
You know?
you could do that. You
know.
could pull that off.
So
yeah,
I mean,
'Cause
they
Memphis is
they
probably
have
under the cap.
they
Yeah,
have
like-
so
yeah.
they have so much
Two
that
ace
they're
league player
They
on
got
the
rid of
Grizzlies
JJJ.
too.
Who's that?
2 ace league players on the Grizzlies right now. Currently, Walter
Walter
Clayton
Clayton
Jr.
Jr.
and Taylor Hendricks.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Both came
Shout
in the
out to them.
same Utah trade.
Yeah, they
For
both
Jaren
came.
Jackson.
They both were in the same. Yeah.
Yeah. That's right.
Shout out to
I
the
actually
former
thought-
ace league player.
I actually thought that was pretty good for them moving off of Jaren Jackson. They got some good
Yeah.
value for that.
I'm not a fan of his.
I'm not a fan of his.
No, he
Yeah.
went to state. I mean, I didn't think he was going to do as well as he did. I'm gonna be
Yeah.
quite honest with you.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, that jump shot was funky, and he fouls a lot. But yeah,
I really felt like when he played in an international setting, like his lack of an offensive game
It's loud.
was really loud.
Yeah.
Like when you're playing with other great guys, like you kind of just have to operate with it, and he was just not able to operate with it. He just was always the sore thumb sticking out.
Oh. Now, Will, we got you here. We got to talk a little, Brian.
Okay.
We,
All right. I'm all right with that. I'm all right with that.
So, he's reportedly not willing to take a pay cut to return to the Cavs, as he earned about, 52 with the Lakers this season. Now, of course, people are romanticizing about a Cleveland Cavaliers return, but there's a lot of stipulations with that because they're a team that's in the second wave of that. So they can only offer the minimum, which is $3 million, and the Cavs is, and then the Lakers, they just have questions to answer before they can, I believe, they can even get to Braun with Austin Reeves. And
Yeah, absolutely. So, like, if I'm LeBron.
Yeah.
Right, and I know some people within his circle. I'm actually friends on Facebook with a lot of people in his circle.
Okay.
I'm just going to tell you, you can't make the determination on what that man's going to do because he is very strategic in everything he does. So I know that him making that statement has a rhyme and a reason that goes beyond of what he wanted to put out to the public. You know what I mean? So that's whatever his rationale. I'm not going to pretend like I know because only he knows that, or his inner circle. But I will suggest this. There's a team that I would love to see him go to that would shake up the NBA world, and nobody's talking about it, and that is the Boston Celtics. He
For
can
what?
go there on the minimum. Remember, he's an unrestricted free agent. You go there to win a another championship for the two-story franchises. You get your 5th in a Boston green and white after winning one for the Lakers, after winning one for the Heat, after winning one for Cleveland that they never won it. You got a mean case. You got a mean case. And that's one of those things where what he would fit in seamlessly there.
He would.
He would fit in seamlessly.
I almost think anybody could in Boston, honestly.
Yes, but then that's one of those things where that's a juggernaut. Like, that's a juggernaut.
I'm not mad at that. That's just so unreasonable. It's so left field. It's almost not even worth
Just like the
like
same
that's
thought.
out there, man.
That's out there. It's the same way that LeBron, and if I would have asked you this in 2014, would he ever go back to Cleveland after what Dan Gilbert said, you would have said what?
That's out there, man. Yeah.
I'm just telling you.
But
I've always thought less of him for doing that.
I remember you saying that.
Yeah.
But if the minimum is on the table, I don't think Boston is on the table, right? That's the thing, because like I would think he would go back to the Cavs before he goes to Boston if minimum is on the table. I would think he would go to Golden State before he goes to Boston if minimal.
That would suggest, but you're suggesting as if this is the farewell tour.
It's damn near.
See, yes, it's got to be damn near, right? I agree with you. It's got being 42 this year.
I'm talking about 1 or 2 is what I mean.
All right,
by
but see, the thought process is that he doesn't want to have to carry the heavy lifting, but he wants that strict, that straight line path to a realistic championship. The Lakers are nowhere close to being to the Lakers. Unless they get Giannis, there's nowhere close to being to a championship. Austin Reeves is not it.
And
That is highway robbery.
and Golden State's not anywhere close.
And Golden
either.
State is not. Jimmy
Well,
Butler,
that would be
37
fun.
years
that
old.
That would be the fun thing.
That's
I
a
don't
great
think,
watch.
Yeah,
But
I don't know.
But that's LeBron just hearing another year of
But
him
there is
being a
no
loser.
easy. There is no easy.
I
In
like
the-
the thinking.
in the
though.
East?
The Boston.
Yeah.
In the
That's
East,
That's not realistic. though.
why isn't it?
What
though?
is realistic though? That's
Huh?
the thing.
Why isn't it?
Lakers or Cavs is about the only realistic options.
You don't remember? You must don't remember the relationship between Jason Tatum and LeBron, and the relationship between Jaylen Brown and LeBron.
The thing about Boston
Mm-hmm.
is the move that they're going to make. The only like game changing move I think they would make is a Giannis for Jalen, or moving Jalen to Atlanta and getting Giannis to Boston in a 3-team deal. Outside of that,
They need.
They're not
they
gonna
need
bring in
more
a
size.
There you
Period.
go.
yeah, they'll get size on the secondary market. You know what I mean? Or they may pull some strings to get Jared Allen over there or something like that.
That's not the size they need.
No, that Jared Allen will do fine.
What it's saying is it's just a third person who can come in on any given night.
Braun would work there. Braun would work there, and Boston is a title contending team with LeBron. I'm not arguing that point.
Yep.
What I'm arguing is there's no way in hell Braun would consider going to Boston.
What
I
would be your reason to
cannot-
be
I
against
just-
it though?
Nothing have shown. I haven't. There's been. No reporting about it. And I understand that he's made surprise moves in the past, but that's just.
He went to the Lakers when they were coming off a 35-47
But
season.
we knew he wanted to get into the film industry, and at that time, and the West Coast was rumored about it, and that's when he was going to try to pair do the Kawhi thing and all of that, and so at least you had that in the air, so you knew it was 2 teams. You know what I mean? And then again when he went back to Cleveland, at least we didn't know, and it was surprising, but it's like it's back to Cleveland. Boston, that's out there. Now, again, what the hell do I know? I have zero ties to
I mean, and I've been saying, his options are
It's
not
limited.
that great.
Yeah.
And again, you look at a
Limited.
Cavs team that shit the bed in the playoffs.
Maybe Denver.
That's not that appealing.
Do you stay on? Do you go to the Cavs knowing that they're going to be so top heavy with James Harden because I guess there's being reported he had a wink deal again. I don't know if they're gonna get screwed out of that or
I
not.
think they screw him.
Yeah, look,
If they have a modicum of intelligence, they screw him.
All right, so if they screw him out of it, then what does he do? He still
gonna
opts
pick
into
up the
that
player
40.
option.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
gonna
yeah,
still
yeah,
opt into that $40-something million option, and then do what he did at the Sixers, do what he did at the Nets. I want to go here, and if you don't, I'm gonna get fat. I get it. You know what I'm saying? I know that's his thought process.
I would just exile him.
You would give her Arenas some?
Give him the money and send him home.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying.
So amnesty.
Whatever you want, amnesty. You're not
Stretch
in
and
the
wave
building.
like they did Damian
So,
Lillard.
You're not in the
then
building.
if you're LeBron, do you go there? But knowing that's the thought process, and you being the basketball savant that you are, you see James Harden is not who he once was.
But that's not a bad team, though.
It's not a bad team, but is it championship level? And is it
in
worth?
the East.
Is it worth uprooting? Because it's the same thought process applies then to the Boston situation. Because now you're saying I'm gonna leave LA to go back to Cleveland, even though I've already been back to Cleveland and won a story. Because if I lose though in Cleveland, see, there's the element that you're not looking at. My lasting memory of me ending my career in Cleveland will not be a championship. Even though he didn't win his final 2 years in Cleveland, people still remember that 16 final. They act as if that was his last year. He went back 2 more years and got blasted in the finals. But we still remember the 16.
Died on screens.
You see what I'm saying? So
Like
I
Jesus
just-
on the cross.
I would just hate to see him in LA again. You know what I mean? So I would
No,
much rather see him play in Boston than
But
LA.
I'm with Will in this sense. If you look at the current state of the Cavaliers, whether Harden plays or you exile him,
It's not
bad,
man.
But I like Boston better.
I like Boston better, but it's not bad. Like
But
if he goes there, it's not like shit, it's over.
Yeah.
They'll have an okay chance. Donovan is still in his prime. You got 2 bigs in their prime, and you can still move one of them for like legitimate things. Like Evan Mobley and Jarrett Allen has positive value in the league.
Yeah.
Now it'll only be a little difficult to trade James Harden. It's not like a Paul George or Joel Embiid contract because he'll be on an expiring deal.
At 37 years old.
James Harden's that's an expiring deal. Expiring deals are
True.
positive value in the league.
True, if you want to get off money, but then that means you're going to have to do half the year of James Harden being there that you finally cut that deal.
100%, but now
see what I'm saying?
You have to do the pink thing. You will have to. I mean, at that point, if you get to that stage,
you would have to. You know what I mean? Because you couldn't sit there and just
No, you couldn't just.
You could legally trespass him from the facility.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I mean,
so you have to do what you have to do. But what I'm saying is, I 1,000% agree, and you lived up to the billing. It was left field, like you said before. You said the team.
Yeah.
I agree. Boston would be.
But
but Cleveland's not bad.
If I'm LeBron, like I honestly look at this and I go, I would like ideally to have a somewhat of a shot at a championship.
Mm-hmm.
But and again, knowing this is maybe the last year or two of doing this, I want to be in what I would consider like a fun or interesting situation where I know the team's going to be like at least a plausible contender, and then like who am I playing with and what are we doing?
But that, again,
culture, well coached.
That's if we're Bron. Remember now, we started this out. Bron is saying he's not willing to take a pay cut. He's not willing to take the minimum. He's not willing to do that. So if that's the case, and remember a couple of years ago he said, "I'll never take less than the max," because of his like actual worth to an organization.
But then last year he said he would for Jonas Valanciunas or Klay Thompson if they could get something. He said, on the edge, right? Yeah. Margin. On something like that, I think he would sit there and make the numbers work.
Okay.
But
you know what I mean?
But like again, if with LeBron being a very calculating person, like that literally could have been the signal that I don't want to go to Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
So prepare for something else.
Okay,
yes.
I got you. Yeah,
that could be the message.
That 1,000%.
Yes, and that could be that could be it right there.
So,
you know what I mean? And that part right, because he's going to watch the landscape.
Yeah.
Being an unrestricted free agent for the first time in the career like this, where he's literally not under a 1-and-1 player option, none of that. Like this, he's normally always had the player option. He doesn't have that.
When he went to LA, it wasn't as a total free agent?
I mean, that was what you call it. He still could have signed back with Cleveland. Here, obviously he could still sign back with the Lakers.
Right.
But he has nothing on there because he had a 1-and-1.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
I didn't
and he
remember
opted out of his player option and then went to LA because Magic came to his doorstep and all that.
I forgot.
Yeah.
I thought he might have gone.
He doesn't even have the player option. No. So now he's literally a free agent with no options. Nobody's got a contract already ready for him, even though Lakers probably do, but they got a certain number they want to do. If they're smart, they got to get rid of Austin Reeves. Got to.
And I don't think they will.
They got to. They got to. That is.
Dude, I was saying
Gordon Hayward 2.0.
I was watching the game last night, and I'm like, I would take Caruso all day over Reeves.
All day.
The same, man. I'm sitting here thinking why did we let go of Caruso?
Just this season alone, that would have been
why?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, what was the thought process behind that?
Yeah.
And it's not like he wasn't even asking for a ton of money.
Yes, he wasn't asking for big money.
No.
Yeah.
No.
He's a better defender. He's a clutch shot maker. High basketball IQ.
He does so many things that help you win.
Yes. Leadership, intangible stuff.
Yeah.
Like, what does Austin Reeves actually does between a slick dribble and nice little layup package?
Well, Anthony Davis did say he misses Austin Reeves the most out of anybody on the team he's been on.
We're going to take advice from a guy that can't play 40 games?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to talk about Anthony Day-to-Day Davis.
I don't care what he said. There are some people that speak, you listen, and then there's him.
Oh, man. Well, we'll see, man, because the first domino is the draft, and I think the next domino is Giannis. I think the league is going to wait until what happens there. Yeah. And then I think you'll start to see a bunch of different things happen.
Absolutely.
Behind Giannis.
And I don't like the way Giannis has managed the Milwaukee after. I thought he should have left town right after the title. I would have packed the bags. We're gone.
People don't like that villain role. They don't like it.
It's fine.
You know, they don't want to wear that hat.
Yeah, but what you've got is you've got what you've had over the last couple of years, just disappointment, unhappiness, and whatever. I hope he's learned enough over the last 12 months to make his decision like quick, to make, like get on this at the beginning of the summer, make the decision, get it out of there. Don't like be this domino that holds up free agency and whatever. Because with the trade dynamic, it's kind of how it worked. There's a lot of talk and ultimately nothing.
Right.
Like if you're really serious about getting out of there, like make this happen, make it happen early in the window so that everybody can move on.
Pink, I want to ask you this question on that then. If you're the Bucks, do you, because he does have another year after this year, do you get the best deal possible for you, or do you honor the labor in which he put in? Even though I know he still have a semblance of control because he can just tell the new team, hey, I'm only going to do a year here and then I'm out. You know what I mean?
But recognizing those dynamics, that he, regardless, he's going to have significant leverage in this. He's been a tremendous player for the team. I make the best deal for everybody that I can make. That's what I do. That's how I believe. That's what I think. That's how I think, how I believe. I do that.
Because Miami is one of the teams he would like to go to. I just don't see how Miami can make an attractive enough package for what they have. They don't have anything.
Then you explore the three-team route. Multi-team trade.
But who do they have outside of Bam that really has any real trade value that could be a
none of those.
I don't want Hero. I don't want
Bam.
I think Miami's a mess. I think they're a disaster, and I wouldn't really want to make that trade.
I
now,
think they're gonna be in
if
the
that's going to
secondary
be the thing, it's like if you want to go there, we have to get a third team involved.
Yeah.
There's no other way to do that.
But
So
then,
if you wanna
then
get
that's
your-
marketing and lifestyle then over championship, because he's been preaching, I want to win a championship.
For sure.
There's no way you go to Miami and say that you're trying to go there as a champion.
I agree.
There's no way.
No, you can't do that. It's a farce if you try to.
Yeah, I mean, Jimmy Butler kept them above water and kept them relevant in the race for about 5 years?
Yeah, probably 4 or 5 year window. It's time for Pat Riley to go. I mean, how long do we just hang on to your reputation in the past?
No.
What have you done for us?
No, it's time. I got a couple other quick ones here. All right. Just because we kind of touched on it here, I just want to touch Harden, because Harden, and after they ended up getting swept the last game, he says that I told the guys I'm willing to do whatever it takes. Coming into my 18th year, I don't have no pride. I just want to win.
You didn't have pride for the preceding 17 years.
And then a lot of people started, you guys, I feel sorry for James and this, that, and I feel nothing for him.
No, nothing at all.
By all accounts, I've seen so many teammates, they champion. You know why they champion? They champion because they talk about Harden going into the clubs and being in there 4, 5, 6 in the morning of game night, drinking more than everyone in the club combined, but being able to go back out and drop 40 points that night.
Yeah.
That wears and tears on your body. Like, okay, you're the champion of that, but what the fuck does that, what does that mean at the end of the day?
Yeah, nothing.
You won a lot of money. You got a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's, and that's great.
No, I haven't liked James Harden since he left OKC. I hate the way he plays basketball, and I think he's a fucking loser. And
that's one way to put it.
I'm happy to see. I want him out of the league. I do want him out of the league,
man.
Because we end up having to talk about him, and he's fucking irrelevant.
It's time.
Well, look, I guess I'm taking a different approach, because obviously when you've been around the game and you see it, you know how these guys have to answer certain questions, especially when you have a wink, 2-year, $75 million contract, you know what I mean, that is going to be on the table. So for $75 million, I got no ego. Like, somebody walk up to me right now and talk about, no, I ain't got no ego. What we talking about? At all. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of the game that's being played with James.
And my point is, like, you don't want that in the league.
Yeah.
We don't want Shai flopping in the league. We don't want this guy in the league at all.
But that's always going to be there. Because here's the unfortunate reality that most fans, obviously y'all know, but most fans don't realize that when they sign on that dotted line, they're not just signing you for your production. They're signing you for how much money they can make off of you and off of your jersey sale, off of your likeness, off of your off court thing. So when you see a James Harden, and you sign him for $40 million, you're saying that I could probably make $65 million with you being on the team. You see what I mean? So it's also a business deal. You know what I mean? Because that's the same thing with Bronny and all those people.
You're also like pandering to idiots if there's still value in him at this point.
But the average sports fan is an idiot,
The average person is an idiot.
Yes.
So, I mean, I can't speak for them. I don't know their world. I'm not them.
Yeah.
So I don't give a fuck what they want. Like, I just want him out of the league because he's a lame story.
Yeah.
I mean, looks good for your fantasy basketball, right? I mean, because that's what we do now, because certain names outweigh production. You know what I mean? We go through it all the time. Like, there's people that were in Ace. I'm going to just use Ace, for example. There's people that were in Ace 5 years ago were monsters. They've aged out now. See, that's the part where, a lot of people don't realize, and where the longevity of Ace comes into play at, is that Ace could be around for people's kids now to play. You see what I mean? Like, they were a pro, now their kids became a pro, and it'll still be here to say a legacy type of deal.
Yeah.
And that's a model. And James Harden has the name. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Can't nobody deny that. And it's just one of those spaces in which his name still sells and resonates. You bring him to your team, you're like, I know he's going to flop in the playoffs, but he makes us a little bit better. Right? Like, that's still a thought process that a lot of people have. That's what they thought in Cleveland.
I'd love.
That's definitely what I thought in Cleveland.
If I'm in the league and I'm competing, I love that you all have that mentality.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna fucking kill you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like, any of the smart teams, they're gonna definitely.
But you look at the Thunder, you look at the Spurs and how they've put things together versus teams that have bought the Harden bullshit over the last 5 years.
I mean, what did the Sacramento Kings think they were doing? Picking up Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, and Russell Westbrook. No disrespect, because at least two of them probably Hall of Famers. But what did you think that was going to be? That was to sell tickets. Like, that's to sell tickets to say we're doing something. And when you pick up a James Harden, that's what you're telling your fan base. You're selling your fan base of we're trying to do something. Even though basketball people like yourself, no, come on, man.
Yeah.
We're going to whoop y'all ass. Y'all got James Harden. He's a cone.
Yeah.
But that's the sell to the fan base, because it's a business before sport. People don't seem to think that before. It's a business. This is the entertainment business. Before sport, there's storylines that they'll pick up. If they got player A, player B, same stats per game, they're going to pick up the guy with the better storyline.
Well, that explains
what I mean?
Austin Reeves.
Yeah, that part. Yeah,
being a white guy and putting up numbers in the league.
We anticipate.
Yeah,
it's already happened. He is who he is because he's a white guy.
You said it. I'm glad that came from a white guy, because if it came from me,
I'm attuned to these matters. It's whatever.
No, I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that.
And particularly like a southern white guy.
Yeah, Arkansas.
With his Arkansas twang, not a European guy. No, his
made it in the
I'm
big
not
city.
saying that you can't play. He can't play. He's a good player, but he's a limited player, and those limitations aren't seen when he's wrapped in his clan hood.
And
Damn.
You can't even like. He's like, you can't even respond to that. But I was gonna say that it doesn't show in regular season when you're playing against the Wizards and the Memphis Grizzlies and that. But it will show when you're playing against the perimeter defenders of the Thunder. It will against the Spurs. Stephon Castle would literally take Reeves out of a series single-handedly.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
That's a 4-13 night, 13 points.
You can just,
that's all.
Not to put him on your FanDuel or fantasy lineup if he has to play against the Spurs that night in a playoff game. But two more, and then we're gonna close out on the H League. Two more quick ones here. One, it comes in tragedy, but I wanted to quickly talk about it because I had something on this. So, 3 teens in Dallas in an Airbnb shooting lost their lives, right?
That almost looks like that year where you put Tuck on the promo.
Oh,
It did. It looked like one of those. Everybody got on you about that. But basically there was a big party, about 150 people, about almost 150 people there, and basically, you know, some people who weren't supposed to be at the party showed up, and you know, the guys from upstairs opened fire, and 3 of these guys died. And I say
the shooters were already established at the party, and the decedents were the uninvited people.
I think it was the other way around. I think it was the uninvited people
Came with the weapons.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shot the guys in the party, and it's funny because I've been to, not funny, but it's interesting because I've been to a couple. I've been to one Airbnb party where I was supposed to meet a friend there. Right, I showed up first. My friend never came. I didn't know anybody there.
Really?
And I just stayed at this Airbnb party the
Did
time,
you score?
not knowing anybody. Why is that the answer the question all the time?
Why play the game?
Why
get your uniform?
Why play the game, right? But it's like you have to be so careful at these. It's just crazy, man. How careful you got to be at these open, like, you know what I mean, teen Airbnb parties. Do you let your child go?
The other question: do you know they're going?
Yeah.
I mean, a proper teen is not going to tell you.
I mean, I guess this is where parenting. I don't know anything about this story, but I mean, being a father of 5 boys, you know what I mean. There was things in which, like, the way that you raise your children, and you know, the foundational pieces, and getting them to understand and having self-value, self-worth, and saying, what is your purpose of going to this? When laying out, here's all the dangers to it, and here could be some of the pros, right? But what is your rhyme and reason? You see what I'm saying? Like, explain your rhyme and reason, because what? I'm going to be in a highly condensed space, and what? There's going to be a lot of people that are going to be aggressive. They're going to be drinking. They're going to be smoking. They probably came to the place. So now they're already preparing themselves to make bad decisions. What is it at this party that you want to be at so bad? Is it a girl? Well, ask her out on a date. You know, do something alone. Because guess what? Your end goal is to get laid, right? If your end goal is to get laid,
there's other ways to do it.
There's other ways to doing it than to be hot and sweaty and bothered and then competing with so many other people. Like, why would you want that? And do you really want a woman that is in that space? Mm-hmm. You see what I mean? In that mind frame of.
And like, specifically in that space, if they're like drugged up or drinking.
Yeah.
Like, because we've talked in the past, like when girls lose their faculties on that stuff, they're not that attractive. It's like,
way less
yeah.
No.
No.
So I mean,
100%.
so it's back to parenting, I guess.
No, yeah, you lean on that.
But in that context, it's like there's, you don't necessarily have the conversation that you're talking about, but you hope that the framework has been kind of in place, that even if they're not telling you, because I just believe you don't necessarily know a lot of what your kids ultimately do. Mm-hmm. But you hope that the framework is there, that when they're like, hey, we got a chance to go to this party, that they're thinking, is this good for me? Yeah. What type of time am I going to have there? Like, or whatever. And so, you know, again, just my experience, I know with my kids, they're not telling you everything. They know things that you're not going to be keen on. No. And like, they're going to go around it. But you hope that there's kind of enough in their kind of
their will box that you instilled enough.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I've always tried to teach my sons, and y'all see me make posts about my sons and how proud I am. Matter of fact, I just did one today about my son, getting ready to be an electrical engineer. That's right. It's one of those things where I instilled that early from the mistakes I've made. Because I've been at house parties where they shooting and these fights, or used to go to, there's a place called Sparty's back home, and that place, you knew it was gonna be a fight, and you realize how you were raised was so toxic when you purposely went there to go see the fights, right? Like, you purposely went there to see what was about to happen and things of that nature, and so you want to instill that in them, that hey, here's what it is. If you are going to go to this, because I've had this happen with my 2 oldest, where they were shooting out at the beach, and they had already had it instilled, and they happened to be down there with their girls, and Lee men, we're just protectors, so it's just kind of the space where they already knew where to do, because we walked through that even when they were younger. Like, I've had the birds and the bees conversation. Me, I have it a different way than most parents. Like when I talk about sex, I go into detail. I go through the whole process and what is actually happening in that interaction. And do you want that type of interaction on you? And see, that's where a lot of parents, they leave it short. Right. You know what I mean? They don't understand it's the psychology that goes along with it. That, you know what I mean, that of you even valuing you, because here's the thing that most men don't do. We don't value ourselves the way women do. And then we get mad at women for valuing themselves. So, I mean, come on now, let's keep it all the way funky. We will sit there and smash 50 women all day as quick as possible if they allow us. But in essence, we're saying that we're cheating.
You see the grid?
Yeah, I mean, right. But see, most guys look at that as, that's where it is. But in essence, we are cheapening ourselves than saying that any woman that gives us a smile, looks at us, doesn't have to present anything, doesn't have to have any level of intelligence, doesn't even have to be good for us.
Just a couple working holes.
That's it. That's it. And is that the level of simplicity that we want? And if that is, that's fine. Like I said, I'm not knocking no man if that's what you choose. Right. But then you can't turn around and get mad at women because they take advantage of our lack of discipline, our lack of self-esteem and everything else. Because that's what they're doing. Yeah. They know that, hey, I put on a little bit of makeup, put on some perfume, I can get a man to buy me drinks and my girls all night long.
Yeah. Yeah. So you can't sit up and talk about them taking advantage.
There you go. And see that's a space, you know what I mean, that most men don't think in, you know what I mean, in that. Yeah. So.
No, that's good. That's good. I know on the Beecham side, I remember this one time, quick story, I was at back in the day, I was going to Beecham. Long line, I had to pitch real bad, but you go in, you pay $20, and I go in, first thing I go do is go use the bathroom as soon as I get in. And I'm using the bathroom, and it's funny to say it this way, but like, because the stalls are lined up, right next to each other. But some kind of way, it's however it happened. I saw the dude, he had a pistol. He had a big ass pistol on the side. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I ain't leaning over and looking to see what he got going on, but I saw this motherfucking pistol. And I said, yeah, that's good enough for me. I'm out of here. I wasted $20 for me then. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That was a lot.
Because that speaks to the volume of, hey, how do you get the pistol in?
You know what I'm saying?
Right? So let's think about that from the first part. Yeah. Because if he got his pistol in, that means others could have got their pistol in. Like that off.
That ain't the only pistol.
That ain't the only pistol in there because they didn't stop. This is this weird space that a lot of people think. They think that they stopped making guns when they made yours. No! like, what is wrong with that? As an avid gun owner,
we're shutting down production.
We shutting down production.
Last one off the line.
It's a wild thought. You know what I'm saying? It's a wild thought that a lot of people be having out here, man. It's different. It's definitely different, man. Some wild boys out here.
Wild boys out here, too man. Funny. Last one here, man. I didn't know if y'all had anything on this or whatnot, but I've been heavy on the Drake train, and today he has officially broken Michael Jackson's record for the most Billboard Top 100s hits by a male solo artist with his single Genesis STFU, shut the F up. All right, so he's number one now, man. Does that mean he's Michael?
I don't even know how to react.
I mean,
on some part level, I don't care, at all.
That part,
and it's like,
I know this is a topic of discussion, but
it's it's an accomplishment. But I don't think. I mean, there's just so many factors. I don't think that
way many more factors.
that makes you better than Michael Jackson. And and again, we are talking about the arts. Like you can appreciate both. You could, somebody could just not be your flavor. Either way.
Like we're also talking about it in a day and age where there's so many ways to get your music now. Like that in itself, like there's so many different ways to download music, this, that, and the third. So of course people have more access. Back in my day, I see I'm sounding like the old person now, but back in my day we had to go to the record store. So that's the only way you're getting somebody's album.
The very end of that.
Yeah, that was just it. Like there used to be these big things in the mall, like these big record stores in the mall. Yeah. I forgot what they were called, but
I could be wrong, but I feel like when Thriller was out, that was like a cassette and not a CD. at that time.
No, Thriller definitely. I don't think CDs was out.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I don't think CDs was out. No.
So yeah, you're buying a cassette and like you put that thing in there, and sometimes they would
gotta rewind. Yeah, you gotta rewind it. You gotta use the fork or the spoon, knife, the toilet. I mean,
and I remember the other one that was crazy was too like you used to like. Be listening to the radio station, and then you would record onto the blank thing, and then like all right, we're gonna play this song, whatever, and then like they start playing the song, and then motherfucker want to talk some more.
Yeah, you be pissed, but like you running my stuff.
After this song, we're gonna talk about whatever. It's like, dude, I'm recording this. Like, this is part of my
Power 96. You know how many times I had Power 96.5 on one of my tapes I was making? Yeah, one of my mixes. You messing up love making. Man.
Yeah, those are terrible times, man. That's not good. Yeah.
So Will, man, what do you want to end with the H League?
Look, it's just one of those things where I want people to come out. I just want you to come out, see the product, come out, support these players. These players are literally hungry. They're working still when they don't have to, because we got high level pros here. And a lot of high-level pros that don't have to do this work, they can do their cone drills and everything else. They're coming out because they love to compete. And they like to see where they measure up against other top pros and players. And it makes for some great games. Because my thing is, my customer retention level is great once they come through the turnstile. You know what I mean? So once you come through the turnstiles and see the games, you're like, oh. Once you see a Shaq Jules do oh my God! Like
only hit, you got Shaq, you got
Moss, Niven Hard, I mean, and a bunch of new kids that can fly.
My favorite one. What's my favorite guy? I want to say last year, the year before. He's a guard. He's a guard.
What team do you play on?
He played on. I thought it was Top Shotters. No, it wasn't Top Shotters. It was What's another high flyer?
Like I said, we said Shaq, B. Moss, Niven Hard.
We're gonna get to them.
Those are probably
you gotta get
those.
Yeah, no, because this one I would rank him top 2.
I mean, Niven jumped over a dude.
Niven is in my top 2.
Yeah, in the dunk contest, the Ace League 22 All-Star game.
I know
he
he's
jumped
playing.
over Rod. Like, Niven is the guy that does it between the leg, backward flushes, that type of stuff. Yeah, it's different.
Sean Willett.
Oh, yes, Sean. Yeah, you're right. Sean will put it on your head.
Sean will put it on your head.
Yeah,
man.
he will put it. Remember, he tried to go between his legs and dunk on somebody.
Yeah.
I was there.
Y'all got to understand what we talking about.
So H League is excited, man. You got these guys. You're not just watching this regular. These guys excited, man. Yeah. They shooting. They jumping over the rim. You got to come out and watch it, man.
Absolutely.
You got to come out and watch it. No, Will, man, we definitely appreciate you coming out, man.
I appreciate y'all having me, brothers, sure, man. No question.
June 15th, first game, right?
Yep, June 15th.
All right, man, we'll be there.
That's on Monday?
Monday.
Okay.
Yep. All games on Monday except for 1 week that we want to do. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I got to do like the 6th and the 7th.
Oh, Jesus.
Listen, man, I hit a bitch one time, man, the baby was bouncing all over the bed.
Cut through the texture of pasta, I stretch to the father. My demons can't be stressing my daughter. Sweat Benny Hanna, know it's a rap. Wet enchilada.
Deion Sanders is the greatest football player arguably to ever live. Ed Reed, the greatest safety arguably to ever live in the entire universe. All right? Why y'all not going on live? Miami been trashed for fucking how long now? God damn.
I like you got up some skates. I like you got up some skates. I like you got up some skates.
I want somebody in the event, something like, say like, I love oxtail. If I can eat some that tastes like oxtails while I'm down there, just for that moment.
He's on my back, you know what I mean? And, I think, I feel like his thing is like on my neck.
I've had 2 guys.
Same time?
No, I'm not that girl.
Man. The best motherfucking podcast in Orlando, Florida.
You already know.
We appreciate Sunshine State, man.